Hello, Lifers. It's Jason Love with Jason Loves Life and my lovely wife here.
Smooth.
I was going to make a joke. I was going to say ex-wife. So I was going to say, but then I realized.
Give it time.
Yeah. It's been a week, and as promised, we're doing a sit down couch. What do we call this again?
We don't call it anything. You keep struggling with that.
Yeah, I do that on purpose because I think it's funny.
Oh, you just love to press my buttons.
Yeah. Ow. So anyways, this is, we're back and we got some great questions. First, I wanted to say thanks to, I'm using the phone so you guys can see. Oh man, I messed up her name. Mariski?
Oh, I know that name.
Yeah, we've talked before, and you mentioned that she was surprised because you had used the kid's name. And what's going on?
He's just moving around.
Okay, no, I was Anyways, it's still going. The camera's been doing some weird stuff lately.
Just keep going.
So she mentioned, because she noticed that we had said their names, and we hadn't officially come out saying their names, but we had slipped enough times that we just kind of figured.
It gets really hard.
Yeah, and then I don't always catch the edits, and this was actually, I think I talked about this when we had a question about the names, as I said, I wanted to give it a year, and if we're still vlogging after a year, then I'm going to probably use their real names because, if we decided to stop, I felt like then their names wouldn't be out there. But I feel like if we keep doing it anyways, people are going to find out.
Yep.
So it doesn't really make sense. So at this point, also too, we've been sharing this more with people we know or before, and it turns out actually quite a few people who we know watch, which kind of is weird. But we like it. I had someone on a project I'm working with who's an old teacher of mine, and I work with her on different projects once in a while, doing a film project with her, and she was like, this is my favorite episode here, and I was like, oh, that's your favorite episode? You watch our videos. So that was cool. And I don't know if you're watching this one. I assume you probably don't watch everyone because there's a lot. So anyways, back to Mariski. Thank you. Yes, we're using their real names now.
I guess we are. You didn't tell me.
For the most part. No, we talked about this.
No, we talked about talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I had said that and I said specifically that video that we can hear from.
Going to the potty.
Yeah. We're in the basement. Yeah, I had mentioned that we'd use, and we'll probably still use their nicknames just because we're sort of used to it, but.
All right, I'm good. I'm on board.
So then, Gideon222, this is not necessarily a question, but they mentioned Special Needs Trust, so I just it seemed really cool, so Google Special Needs Trust, and it was basically, they were talking about how it's a trust so that when they pass away, their child doesn't lose their Medicare because of income. And so I didn't look into it at all. I was just like, oh, that's really nice. We're kind of far away from that, so we...
From passing away?
Well, from both of us, I guess we could both.
Well, you're a little closer.
Crash. We also don't have that much money to give them yet, anyway. So it's not like they lose their Medicare. And also, I think it's different too because if there's a certain type of Medicare that doesn't matter on income. So that's another thing. It's called Katie Beckett, and I don't know if that's all over or just Wisconsin. So that's another thing. I just want to throw these out. So look up Katie Beckett if you haven't heard of it, and unless it's in Wisconsin, that's not helpful. But maybe there's something similar in your area. And then Special Needs Trust was helpful. Both of those kind of relating to Medicare and making sure if you're above the threshold, your kid gets the help they need, even into adulthood. So then Zev, which has posted a lot, always good to see you on the comments, asked, do either the kids have stims or tics? And then his son and him have a few. So... do they have...
What's in tics?
Sort of like hand flapping, those they call them stims.
Oh.
Self-stimulations or something like that.
Oh, okay. No. Not that I remember, or at least if I've seen it, it's so normal now I don't even think about it.
And I did a video on this before where he does I can't think of it, where he's copying videos. He's scripting. And it looks like he's doing tics. He does something with his mouth, though, that I can't tell if that would be considered one.
Which thing? He does do that a lot, but I think...
he does, weird things with his mouth.
And I'm often off, but I think, he could have chapped lips.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't tell if it's something physical or if it's something...
Because I'll ask him if he needs some, and then he'll go, yeah, and then...
But I also feel like it gets worse when he gets anxious, but then it's is that just he's getting trapped, his lips getting worse because he's licking his lips? I don't. So that's the only thing I can think of.
The lip thing, yeah. He does
He does some things with his mouth.
He does do some things
or he'll make
with his
like
mouth.
this face sometimes. You see him do that. So he'll do that. I don't know if that's part of his.
He does lick his lips a lot.
Yeah.
Which leads to the chap. Or he just fiddles with his mouth.
But nothing that I think most people would notice. Like I only notice it because it's happened so often that you're just like, oh, he does that a lot. Rebecca asked. She says, I hope everything goes well. And we're talking about getting Evelyn evaluated. Where would you begin to even have someone diagnosed if you think they have autism?
Well, us as Weep.
Yeah, we went through who our son is going through. And with him, I think we started with the school. Who originally referred them?
No, it was Dr. Flock.
Okay, so the pediatrician.
Was I supposed to say his name?
I don't think it doesn't matter.
He's retiring.
He's retiring.
Dr. Flocks.
Yeah, so I won't be their doctor anymore. Anyways.
Yeah, because he said, well, he should be talking by now. I'm going to give you some options. Call these people and see if he qualifies for some speech therapy. And then the speech therapists, actually, they waited for us to say it.
So see, speech therapist was through the school. So the
Dr. Flocks turned us on to that. And then when I was like, oh, what about autism, Dr. Flocks? And he's like, I'm glad you mentioned it. Here's some other places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say both the pediatrician and your pediatrician and the school district, because the school district.
The speech therapist did wait for us to ask too.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I mean, the speech therapist. Not speech. The school district. That's really like you think of it like, okay, my kid is in there when they hit like a certain grade, but really they're also, Everett got.
It was a birth to three program.
Yeah, and they also just deal with a lot of kids, so they should know. And if they don't, I would ask a few people around your district. We're in a big district, so I don't know if that helps.
But yeah, call the school district and ask them about it.
And I think if both of those don't work out, I'd maybe try to see if there's any. I think most state. Well, yeah, state government, and then also state like state health or whatever. Also, there's a lot of autism groups within each state. So
Racine has their own, doesn't they?
Yeah,
don't they?
Yeah. Like so, we actually have one locally, but we are in a pretty metropolitan area, I guess.
It's big enough.
Big enough.
A bunch of small places crammed together to form one big place.
Yeah, and we're not that far from Milwaukee. But like if you were out in the middle of nowhere, I'd just say look at the statewide and just figure out.
Yeah, if you can't get local, go state.
But again, that would be my last option. I would go with pediatrician first. And then,
ask your pediatrician for recommendations of where he would go, because he'll definitely have them. He or she.
Hope that wasn't it. That was a really long answer, but he got a lot of options. So
yeah.
And sometimes they take a while to get back, or even like when we got him evaluated, it took like 6 months
to get him in the door.
Get him in the door to actually get evaluated. So it's good to have options.
The second time around, we got her in 2 weeks, 6 weeks. Because we knew someone.
Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. They're
like, oh, you know what? I can talk to them. His ABA therapist, or like,
Everett's ABA therapist.
They've got one. We'll fit her in.
Yeah. So that helped.
So the second time did not take as long.
So then Gabriella asked, "What other traits do you see in Evelyn?"
Gabriella?
Yeah, is that what I said?
Gabriella.
Gabriella. G-A-B.
Gabriella.
Okay. What other traits do you see in her besides echolalia?
Just the lack of speech.
But then there's a lot, and I talked about this already. There's several things that I had forgotten about when we did it, and some of you were very nice. Some comments I got to respond to about that. Do you remember what other things she has other than?
Well, I was just thinking that she gets unnecessarily upset when one of us leaves, or when an authority figure leaves. Yeah, and the singing of songs, sometimes she does not like. They both do that. They're very upset sometimes. Sometimes you can get away with it.
The big one, too, the hamburger thing.
The hamburger thing. Oh, everything has to be even. Like, if we have a hamburger in the car and I use my hands to pull it apart, I'd better hope that it's pulled apart evenly enough so that, the hamburger layer is even. Bun, hamburger, another bun, they have to be even. If one part sticks out more than the other.
So if it's like it's two, like these are the two pieces of bread, and it's like this, that, she gets really, like, she freaks out.
Yeah, and it's a no-go.
Yeah,
you have to fix it.
And that's one that's actually relatively new compared to everything else.
No, it's been there.
I mean everything. I don't know. I think it's relatively new. I would say relatively new, being like within the last year or 6 months, compared to stuff that she's always had.
I don't remember when it started.
Because, The other thing I would say is she was having stuff where she was putting a lot of stuff in her mouth, kind of older, and she still kind of does that.
She's still doing it now. She didn't used to put the Munos in her mouth, but
Yeah.
now she's doing it, and I'm finding them chewed up places. I don't know how she's getting them either.
So Munos, for those that don't know, they're the
earplugs.
Earplugs for
earplugs, bright yellow earplugs that I get from work.
Yeah, so loud noises, those types of earplugs for like shooting ranges and stuff like that. So Misty asks, does Pumpkin look when you point across the room? She does, and I don't think Everett did.
But she won't always know what she's supposed to be looking at.
Yeah, like she'll actually, because like Everett never really pointed at her age, and she does. Like if you say, "Where is the red?"
I was
ball,
not as worried
she'll point.
for her as you were.
But that's something they'll test.
It's a good thing to get her tested. I didn't really think that she was gonna have the problems that Everett had. I didn't think she had autism.
Yeah, and somebody was talking about that too, because I was talking about my concerns that she had failed on one test and had others, and someone else was talking about like their evaluation process was like 3 or 4 days long, and I've heard that before. And so kind of saying, with her, I'd consider getting a second opinion down the line if she still has some of those issues. The nice thing with Evelyn is, other than her speech delays, there's nothing really restricting her with learning, where Everett learned really fast. I think he learned faster than Evelyn on a lot of things, but then he had a lot of more issues on certain things.
He would forget things.
Well, I was thinking more like behavior-wise, where...
That too, but he would also lose words. Do you remember?
Oh, I just remember him losing like sign language words, but I don't remember him losing like actual...
He lost regular words. Like he'd start using a word, I don't know which ones, like mama, and then he just wouldn't use it again.
Yeah. Does she mix up... She did it the other day. I couldn't tell she did it on
Mix
purpose.
up mama and dada?
Yeah.
But she gets it right again. They both do it now.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll call me dada, and then they'll go, oh, mama.
Okay.
So that's a relief. Both my kids finally call me mama.
Yeah. And then with Everett, it also felt like he was like instead of learning words or sentences, she's definitely putting sentences together where he would like memorize full sentences.
Chunks.
And then,
script.
Yeah, he basically script. So if he said, how are you was one that he had when he got evaluated, and it was like, yeah, he can only say how are you, but he can't say anything with those words separately. So like, how is he wouldn't be able to say, or how, like he didn't realize like each word had its own meaning.
Individual meaning.
Yeah, where she's actually able to to put those pieces together to make a sentence, and so that's something where she has and he didn't. So again, we'll kind of just keeping an eye on her. No real.
Yeah, but I'm paranoid that I have autism now.
Yeah.
On some level.
Yeah. Now that Anthony Hopkins recently was diagnosed, weirdly enough, I didn't read the whole article, and so now it's like maybe we all have autism.
Well, probably, I don't know, some level. Dad was telling me about how he got kicked out of kindergarten because he wouldn't learn or read, and he's like, Everett will be fine. It happened to me. And then I'm thinking back to my childhood and going, is that normal? Am I normal now?
Does my dad have autism? Is that what you're thinking?
I'm wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just funny how that works. You get sort of paranoid.
Hi, Nancy.
So then I think... I don't remember if I mentioned this. Clarissa wished us good luck, so thank you, Clarissa.
Thank you.
It went well. Glad it's over because you can stop thinking about it, but we'll still think about it a little bit.
Yeah, it'll always be there now.
It'll always be there now.
Just like me thinking, is that normal? Did I?
So thank you again for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure to put your questions for next week in this week's comments because it made my life easier. And I know we get a lot of questions randomly built in. I need to go through. Responding to comments is hard, especially with the amount of editing and video projects coming in. So I apologize if I can't get back to your comments. I like this better because we get to make a video. You get to hear the answer to your comments, and I get to hang out with my wife,
who would never hang out with him at any other time.
This is the only way I can get alone time.
Oh.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Remember, questions in the comments. Subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.